Hey guys, this video obviously is going to be a little different than other stuff on my YouTube channel. I'm doing this to post on a friend's website that he has about kind of outdoorsy stuff. So I just figured I'd leave it up here in case anyone cared. But if you're looking for reviews of stuff, click on something else. Anyway, I wanted to talk about my experience and my reasoning for hunting for the first time in my life this year. I grew up in a very rural area in western New York where a lot of people hunted, and I always had respect for the skill and understood the importance, but nobody in my family hunted, so I just never did. And I think a lot of people could share that. Like, I mean, if you're not a hunter yourself, how many generations in your bloodline would you need to go back to find someone who was a hunter or a farmer or had the skills needed to feed their family outside of society, or outside of like going to the store? I mean, a lot of people are pretty detached from that ability. That may be a good thing that we've advanced as a society to not need to do that, but for me, once I became a father a couple years ago, I became very invested in like learning life skills and being able to take care of my family, and that means being able to procure food no matter what. It's not like I really think that the world's going to end soon or in my lifetime and we're going to be in this post-apocalyptic thing and I'm going to need to know how to feed myself. But I think it's just very important to have those skills. Because, as a society, we're so detached from our food, feeding your family now just means you work a job and you get money and you go to the store and you go, I want food, here's money. And they go, well, give me the money, here's food. And they give you food. And that's basically how you feed your family now. The basic human skills of feeding your family basically consist of four things. One would be, agriculture, raising fruits and vegetables and crops and stuff like that. The other would be raising livestock. There would be, harvesting naturally occurring food, knowing, what plants are edible and what fruits and stuff like that are edible out in nature. And then the other would be hunting for animals. And those are all four skills that are in my plan of being able to master within the next 10 years, I guess. I don't know. Now, through my college education and my work experience, I'm pretty well versed, and I have a lot of books. I'm pretty well versed on like knowing what I can eat out in nature. So I'm pretty good at being able to harvest wild food. And as far as raising crops and livestock, that requires acreage, which I just don't have at this point in my life. But I do want to acquire land, and then I do plan on becoming, somewhat of a farmer and following a self-sustainable lifestyle. So then I decided it was time for me to learn the skill of hunting, so that I can pass that on and be able to teach my children how to take care of themselves. If they want to. I mean, I'm not going to push hunting on them, obviously. But anyway, so, I took a year or two, and I found a friend of mine that said he would take me out and show me what I need to do. And I got all the gear I needed, read all the stuff I needed, and went out and got a deer license. This was my first season. And my first time out, I was able to get a deer, a button buck. And and I chose to be a bow hunter as well. I mean, I respect gun hunting as well, but there's just another level of difficulty, and I really wanted to challenge myself in bow hunting, and so I chose to do that. And that's probably what I will always do, unless there does come a time where there is a big necessity to be a hunter and to get meat. Then I might gun hunt. But as far as I'm doing it as a sportsman, I will bow hunt. But anyway, I was real proud of myself. First time out, it's amazing because I've been out a couple times since then and didn't even see any deer. So it's amazing that my first time out, a deer came close enough for me to get a shot. And I'm just really proud of myself that I was able to set a goal and accomplish it and do everything I needed to. And it's a tough goal too, and I was able to accomplish it. So I'm proud of myself. Now, I do have a lot of friends that are vegetarians or, kind of hippie-ish, peace, love kind of people that have given me flack about, like, oh, I can't believe you killed this innocent animal, and I mean, I don't agree with that. I agree with, like, if you personally don't want to eat meat or don't want to be a hunter, I understand it's not for everybody. But the thing is, when you come down to it, if you look through the whole history of human existence, we've eaten meat. True, we eat more meat than we probably should now, than we ever, more than we ever have, and that's something to look at, and something I would personally want to curtail in myself. But when it comes down to it, like, humans are just omnivores. We eat meat, and unfortunately, for that meat to be available, something has to die. So I just, I come to the realization of paying attention to people that are hunters, that is the more humane way to deal with having to kill something to get meat. Our meat industry is disgustingly evil in this country. The way cattle and chickens and turkeys and whatever are handled. I mean, feedlots are awful, awful ways for an animal to exist. And that's another part of my plan, is to not take part in that. Like, I don't want to touch, or want my family to touch, a piece of industrialized meat ever. I mean, obviously we probably will until we're financially stable, but that's a plan, that's a goal of mine, is to just, like, you don't eat fast food, you don't eat at a restaurant, you don't buy meat at a supermarket. It's just a terrible thing to partake in. And being a respectful hunter that gives the animal a fighting chance is so much more humane to that animal, I think. Especially, I mean, if you think of the way deer die, they die, from disease, where they starve to death over months or years, or they get eaten alive by coyotes or hit by a car. I mean, just terrible things that happen, to where a hunter hopefully quickly dispatches of the animal, pays tribute to Mother Nature for letting this animal come in, cross paths with him, and then utilizes everything they can from that animal's life. So, I think it's the better way to go, and I truly feel that out of all the humans eating meat, the most humane people that are eating meat are the people who killed it themselves and respected that animal. And I'm sorry, I understand if you don't want to eat meat yourself, but you have to respect that point of view of, like, okay, well, that is better than being part of a food industry, which is evil in so many ways that I don't want to go into now. But I think, in a society where we're so disconnected from our food, and all we do is just fork over money and get food and shove it in our mouths, to take a step back from that and get back to the natural way that our forefathers fed themselves is a very important thing that I'm very proud to have done and to be a part of, and to continue on in my bloodline. I hope my son becomes a hunter. I hope my grandson becomes a hunter. I hope his son, yada yada yada. I hope that this is the beginning of that skill going forth in my bloodline. And I'm proud of myself for being able to set my mind to something and do it. And I hope people can respect that. But that's about it. If you're a hunter, keep hunting. I'll see you out there. And if you're not, please don't give me flack about it. So that's all I really got to say, man. And yeah, Happy New Year. See ya.